people who fall asleep within few minutes. How do you it? I was homeless for about a year. One thing about being homeless, sleep conditions suck. I became conditioned to sleep through anything. Now that I have a more stable life, falling asleep is a breeze. So the trick? Homeless sleep therapy. I have been using this trick for a few years that has not failed yet. That did use if I really had to sleep right then and there, which is to slowly relax all your body muscles, parts, starting with your feet. Relax your feet muscles and pretend that you no longer have feet. Don't move it at all. Then once you feel that your feet aren't there anymore, you move on to your calves and thighs, then hands, arms, etc. Usually I'd fall asleep by the time I reach the calves. This is one form of meditation, which is what I always suggest for people. What I like to do is the opposite. Try to feel everything my body is feeling at once. How soft are the sheets on my feet and hands, how my clothes feel, the weight of the blanket. That way there's no space left for anxieties in your head. Do at some point I just go poof and it's morning. I always recommend some sort of meditation when people ask me how I fall asleep so quick. I play a game inside my head where I imagine cleaning my room. It doesn't matter if my real room is actually dirty or if the dream room even resembles mine. I just pick a few tasks and get to work. Focusing on this keeps me from getting anxious about stuff that happened during the day, which I find is what keeps me up most often. Plus it's relaxing, and I always fall asleep before I actually finish tidying. I also have a lot of trouble falling asleep. I find it even harder when I have no plans for the close future. I need something to focus on or plan in my head while falling asleep. Sometimes I find myself feeling that I need to pee even till I just went to the loo, and I tend to stress about this. So yes, I'm definitely going to try this for an afternoon nap and tonight's sleep. Thanks for the advice. I have been doing something similar. I pick a letter of the alphabet, and think of 3 things that begin with that letter. Then I move down the alphabet until I fall asleep. Every night I start at a random letter. The goal is to keep from thinking of things that make me anxious, like things I didn't accomplish today, worries about tomorrow, or regrets from 10 years ago. I never used to be able to sleep through the night. I was up at 2 or 3 a.m. for 3 hours. I read this can be due to anxiety, so I moved my sleep time from 9:30:10 to 11:30:12. So I am utterly exhausted by that time. If I'm struggling to fall asleep, I try to reimage a dream I had another night or go through flexing each muscle and then imagining it off once flexed, starts my with each toe. I actually researched and tested numerous sleep patterns, hygiene concepts, nootropics, and really took a journal approach to these hypotheses and test phases, which I did over the past 10 years in 3 months cycles. One of the aspects I came to learn about myself, I simply can't fall asleep before 0:30. If I do fall asleep, voluntarily forced or cause of exhaustion, like say around 23, then I will wake up 3-4 hours later and feel really foggy. I tried to fix my sleep routine and adopt those sleep cycles for months. It's always the same, though. If I fall asleep between 0:30 and 1:30, I will sleep through for 7-8 hours, steady, and will be refreshed the moment I wake up. I can come back to that sleep routine without any effort. I can have tested a pattern for 3 months, trying to force myself to sleep at different moments and periods, but it takes just one night and I'm refreshed again, waking up after falling asleep at 0:30 till 1:30. That is simply natural. That's not learned, not conditioned. It's how my body works. It's genetically ingrained, and for some reason I do not possess the adaptability to be as refreshed and regenerated with adopting other sleep patterns. It's entirely possible to use those, but the clarity of mind right after waking up I reach with that specific time window is something I can't reach with others. I can recommend this channel for a lot of comprised information which I had to aggregate from numerous sources. https://www.youtube.com/channel/UC2D2 7G1 and 3 lig. I do something similar. I'll try to imagine a random neutral situation in as much detail as I can, like if there's people involved, what are they wearing, what does their hair look like, and so on for whatever scenario I'm picturing. It seems to work really well for me at least. I do have a weird issue where I'm essentially nocturnal though. I frequently don't go to sleep until like 7 or 8 or even 9 a.m. and then sleep till between 2 and 4ish. I'm not sure if it's just because I've worked night shifts pretty much my entire life or if it has more to do with ADHD or something, which apparently can cause similar sleeping habits. But the imagining random stuff in vivid detail is super helpful once I've actually made it onto my bed. I've heard of the toe muscle turning off thing, but I've never actually tried it. I'll have to give it a whirl at some point. Edit, wrote neural instead of neutral. It's the exhaustion to me also. When I just sit at home doing nothing, I find it difficult to go to bed in the first place, and when I do it's difficult to fall asleep too. When I work out during the day or have otherwise busy day, I usually fall asleep faster and the quality of sleep is much better for me, as in I'm actually not tired the next day even when I've slept similar hours. The not laying in bed except for sleep and sex really helps a lot. Everyone should have a comfy chair to relax in, if needed. Also, melatonin, it's life-changing. Used to have really bad insomnia. Thought melatonin would be some new age remedy or something. But nope, stuff knocks me out hard. I get the chewable kind. Works really well. Haven't had trouble sleeping the past decade after trying it. Plus, it supposedly is good for anti-aging. I don't know how valid that is, but everyone I know that uses it seems to have aged pretty slowly relative to others, probably because it gives you such good sleep. Insomnia does a number on the body. What I noticed about myself is that I have two kinds of thought, the ones that help me fall asleep and the ones that help me wake up. Faking asleep thoughts are fantasy thoughts that feel comfy. Me going to Hogwarts and attending some class is a good one. Waking up thoughts are about things to achieve. They are more structured and bound to reality. Try imagining yourself living in your favorite fantasy world. But you should be to some extent sleepy, tired. Same. It's a sore spot for myself, as she takes a while to fall asleep and feels like I abandoned her at the end of the night. Jokingly, we've experimented with her getting into her bedtime routine 20 minutes ahead of me so she's sleeping before me, and that seems to be the trick. If I'm not sleeping within 3 minutes, I fear it's insomnia. I start a playlist when I climb into bed, and I don't think I've ever heard the second song. Same for the most part. I think I don't get very good quality sleep, lots of tossing and turning, so I'm kind of always tired. It's very rare for me to not be able to sleep though, even now at 7 months pregnant. Thank goodness. If I am having some difficulty, I'll either read, and end up falling asleep with the book, my phone in my hands, watch an ASMR video, and fall asleep with my phone in my hands, or play this game where I try to name a vegetable/fruit/animal/country/etc. for every letter of the alphabet. That tires my brain out pretty quickly. Same. I don't think it even takes me 15 seconds to travel to dreamland. The only times I can't sleep are if I'm incredibly nervous for the next day, it's too cold, or I'm somehow in pain. Otherwise I could fall asleep playing on the sidewalk. The worst are exciting dreams. They get too much sometimes and I wake up after being chased by 100 angry giraffes. For as easy as I fall asleep though, I don't feel like I have quality sleep, so there's the trade-off. Sadly there's no trick to it. I don't do any of the stuff you're supposed to. No cutting back on electronics, or only using your bed to sleep. I drink caffeinated sodas near bedtime. I'm not as active as I should be. I have anxiety, etc. When I feel sleepiness stirring behind my eyes, I go lay in bed, put down my phone, and I'm gone in 15. I have random nights of fitful sleep but generally it comes easy. I also dream every night, sometimes several different ones. I am very grateful as several close friends struggle with insomnia. This is also me. though I never dream. But I used to struggle to get to sleep when I was younger, in my teens and early 20s. Partly I think I might just have grown out of it, though I did realize that my problem was usually that I couldn't stop thinking about something when I was laying in bed, and I took to singing songs in my mind to stop my brain working on anything else. Did that for a few months and it really seemed to help, but now I don't have to bother anymore. I just lay down and sleep, anytime between 10 p.m. and midnight, and will sleep through for 8 hours unless I'm woken. Bad news is I'm a light sleeper, so easily woken by all sorts of things, and if I wake up after even just a couple of hours sleep, the chances are I'll be awake until 6 or 7 a.m. Getting to sleep the first time is easy, but getting back to sleep is impossible. I've posted something like this before, but sleep hygiene. I used to be a full-on insomniac, laying awake in bed for hours, getting maybe a few hours of fitful sleep a night, always tired. I'm an anxious person and stuff would just run through my head all night and I couldn't stop it. These days, I fall asleep within minutes and get restful sleep about 80% of the time. Sleep hygiene changed my life, but fair warning, you're probably not going to like what it entails. Start using your bed only for sleeping and sex. Don't read your phone, watch TV, play video games, etc. And start a regular bedtime. It doesn't matter if for a few weeks you can't fall asleep. Just get into bed at 10 p.m. Read a book, paper or side with the ink, no backlights, for 30-45 minutes. Then close your eyes and lay there. Focus on your breathing, slow and deep breaths. Direct your attention back to the breathing as it invariably wanders. In general, try to avoid eating or using backlit screens, TV, computer, phone, tablet, for at least an hour before bed. Don't drink caffeinated beverages after 2 p.m. Even if caffeine doesn't affect you. Try to get a bit of exercise every day, even if it's light exercise like walking or doing a 7-minute HIIT workout. If you commit to this for a month or two, doing it even when it's not working, I bet you'll eventually begin to sleep better. After you're in a habit, you can break these rules for special occasions once in a while and the impact won't be as big since you're in the habit already. But at least for a month or so, be rigorous and inflexible. If all this seems too difficult, the half-ass version is just no backlit screens an hour before bed. Doesn't matter if you have flux or a blue light filter on or whatever. Just don't do it. Good luck. Meditation. It definitely did the trick for me. I used to struggle falling to sleep. Even someone else's light breathing would set me into a sleepless rage. Once I got the hang of meditating, I applied it to my sleep. I had a few techniques. One of them was each time I had a thought or train of thought, and came to the realization I was having a thought, I would let it go. Essentially stop thinking about it and focus on emptying my mind. Maybe I would focus on breathing or how exciting it will be to fall asleep and wake up feeling rested. I felt this basically broke the habit of me overthinking before sleep, or getting too emotional from lights or sounds around me. It took quite a few weeks to get the hang of it and make it a habit, but eventually I got there and started seeing results. I also think investing in a good pillow and bed or mattress topper. I got my bed second-hand for $NZD 300 and spent $NZD 80 on a latex pillow, and it totally changed the game. Also a good stretching practice or yoga so your aches and pains don't wake you in the night. My partner and I have a theory that in order to get to sleep well, you need to be both mentally and physically tired. I find that I sleep best when I've worked out and been active that day, running, swimming or a good intense weight session, but also spend a good amount of time doing mentally taxing work. Social media is the opposite of that. It's junk food for your brain. I'm talking getting hard into flow state, working on something creative and a bit tricky. If I'm not getting that at work, I write, learn a new song on the guitar, do cryptic crosswords, things that really engaged my brain. The combo of those two seems to work well. Maybe you're not getting enough physical or mental stimulation to make your body ready to sleep. I think I am a naturally tired person, as in if I don't have a stimulant or stimulation and a lot of willpower, I will fall asleep. So after a long day of fighting to stay awake, it takes nothing for me to fall asleep. It's almost like holding in a breath for a really long time. When your lungs are about to burst. You open your mouth and just relax and the breath rushes out of you without effort. Falling asleep for me is the same, like I've been holding my breath all day long, and when my head hits the pillow it's like I'm allowing myself to exhale at last. I think a few minutes is exaggeration though. I think I fall asleep within seconds of laying down. I pretty much start dreaming as soon as I close my eyes. Even if I'm not fully asleep, I start dreaming. Then it's like I'm sucked onto the dream and that's it. On the rare occasions when I can't fall asleep, like when I'm not tired but have to go to sleep early for whatever reason, I picture walking through a forest in my mind. I start to picture all the details and can hear the water, and start to be able to feel the trees and I'm out. I used to meditate a lot when I was younger, so maybe that helps. Seems to me my brain associates lying on my bed equals sleep. I just lie there and 2-3 minutes later I'm out. What I can say keeps me up is if I worry about work or some other crap, or look at my phone. Just don't. Try think about what you want to dream about. I like to imagine I can teleport, and think about all the vacation places that would be interesting to visit. That's one of my common go-to thoughts before sleeping. There's always some place new to visit. Can't really run out of ideas. Do not eat, drink caffeine or sugar or spicy foods in the 5-hour period before sleep. Do not use electronics of any sort in the room I sleep in. I even have a traditional mechanical alarm. Write out my plans, goals in a planner before sleep so I am not dwelling on tomorrow. Sleep alone. Use programmable thermostat and zoned AC to adjust room to comfortable temperature and humidify before bed and during sleep. Have sound dampening and isolating foam on the walls to keep room quiet. Take hot shower 30 minutes before sleep and stretch. Meditate. Lay on bed. Relax body. Relax jaw, face. Relax chest, legs. Boom, asleep. Bedroom is only for sleep and sex if I was getting any. No artificial light is in my room. Cell phone is out of arm's reach. Room is pitch black. If I'm having trouble falling asleep, stole this from Michael Phelps. I imagine my childhood home. I walk through it, trying to remember everything in vivid detail. If I get distracted I restart. Normally never make it to the second room in the house before I pass out. As many have noted, the key is to focus on something intently in a form of meditation. I personally like to go beat by beat through my favorite story, novel or movie. Without ever summarizing, I think about how each plot point unfolds, what it looks like in the space, etc. If I try to skip past even the most minuscule detail that I might remember as I think it through, I will slow down and go back to that point I tried to move past. I started doing this in my teens with Jurassic Park, and I would typically get 25% if the way through, but now, if I do this, and lucky to get paid the first scene. This is one of the reasons that people watch something TV shows that they know well, and thing happens. You turn your mind off through intensive repetition. Good luck. I remember reading a while ago that in WI, they were trying to train pilots to fall asleep fast so they would be rested for missions. They would focus on relaxing all the muscles in their body, starting from their head and ending at their feet. I've been doing it for almost a year now, where if I'm having trouble sleeping, I focus on relaxing the muscles at the top of my head, then my face, then shoulders, etc. Regardless of how restless I am, I don't think I've ever made it past my shoulders before falling asleep. I bought a mattress tailored to how I sleep. I sleep track and get a score every time. I had a futon before it and would get on average 40s and 50s on my sleep score. Then I got a good mattress from a store that had me lay on a mattress that tracked pressure points where I lie down. Based on that I got recommended a few models. It cost about $1K, but man, I gotta say it's great getting into bed and just being out within minutes after years of tossing and turning. It's worth the money, seriously.